Providence, destiny, fate. The great tapestry of past, present, and future, manifested as my children, my daughters, every possibility and path known to them. I, Nyx, the great primordial goddess of night, birthed them alone. Born before the Olympian gods, even they cannot change what the fates weave. Young maidens, old crones, ugly and grim, scales and scepters, spinners and scissors. Crowns appear upon their heads and thrones to hold their debilitated bodies. Sick or healthy, young or old, they are still the relentless ones. Their reflections shift and change in the eyes of each beholder, but my daughters remain the same. The Fates. Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos have many siblings, each a concept personified, with tools and gifts that inspire their art. Philotechnis, affection, sprinkled in the lives of mortals. Hypnos and the Oneuroi, sleep and dream, blessed rest for every soul. Moros, who is doom, Momus, who is blame, Eris, who is strife, Apate, who is deceit, Isis, who is distress, the Keres, death goddesses, feasters of violent ends. They wait on battlefields for the bodies and souls of those slain. Next, Yeras, who is aging, then Charon, who is the ferryman in the underworld, and finally, Thanatos, who is the god of death. These are all my children, all with parts to play. The Fates oft use their sibling skills, for they see all. They design the lives of mortals with the woven string, and each has purpose. Each of their siblings, given moments in the menagerie of mankind. The Fates use all kinds of concepts when constructing this stream. They are mistakenly believed to share one eye, but that is the sisters Grakai, the grey ones who fight over a single tooth. No, my daughters do not fight for sight, for theirs is unmatched. Complex are the roles of Moray, intricate are their powers, and to explain the whole, I pass the telling onto the spinners themselves.
Yes, we the Fates, the sisters three, measure out mortal lives to weave in the great tapestry of life. The fabric of fate, the warp and weft of time and space. I am Clotho, the spinner. With my spindle I pull the raw materials, fibers of life and events, possibilities and the plans that Lachesis has made. I am responsible for spinning it, working it and wielding it, until a single thread can begin to be pulled. Each tendril is twisted by the hands of wee Moray. Thousands of strands are spun together to make a single thread that contains a whole life. Each is unique and designed by all three, but my part is the beginning. With the goddess of childbirth, Ilithia, a bright young maiden, the child of Zeus and Hera. Together we are present at each mortal birth, and she blesses them all. The godly child shines as she cares for each of the mortals in her aspect. And we fates will work with many gods, for we follow a mortal through all of it. We see their choices, and so we weave the consequences to them, the rewards to be given and punishments to be made. But I am just the beginning. The specifics of a life are all my sister's design. I pass the thread to her. Once the beginning has begun, I spin it carefully, adding and removing different elements, the past, present, and future. We fates experience all, every moment or possibility at once, and every choice that will lead a soul down the thread of life. For mortals' fates are not inflexible. Every man may influence his own life. We just know it all before they do. I am Lachesis, a portioner of lots. With my staff, I measure out the thread. I decree the share of life, the portion doled out to each soul. Their struggles and hardships, their joys and triumphs, we control the fortune due to the actions taken. Should they be famous and admired above all, or forgotten and ignored? With some godly counsel, I choose the punishments and consequences for each soul. Our sight is beyond both mortal and divine. We are known as prophetic. Our knowledge of all alive means we know things yet to come for the mortals and immortals. Present at the births of gods too, we ordain their powers and their future role among the pantheon. We seldom let slip events and paths that have not yet come to pass to mortals, only when caught unaware. But for us, 'tis all the same. Time is different for us fates. It's easy to get confused about what has happened when you experience all at once. We leave the sharing of prophecy to the god Apollo and his faithful followers. We see all gods with all their power are still no match for the primordial forces, the laws of the universe, the intrinsic rules that can never be broken. I ordain how much time each mortal is bestowed, so when a mortal's life comes to an end, I measure out the thread until its end. Zeus, the highest of all, king of the Olympians, even he cannot change their fates. He will weep for his son, Sarpedon. Mortals, demigods and gods, from the lowly to the divine, do try, but rules are never truly broken. On occasion, they can be bent. Zeus himself transformed the fate of the mother Callisto and her son Arcus, for they were doomed to die. Their time was up, but saved from vicious murder, they became stars amongst the skies. Their fate was for their lives to end. This could not be changed. And she who cuts the thread, she who cannot be turned, I pass the tale on to her. The final sister of the fates. I am the inevitable end. With scales balanced in one hand, shears metallic and heavy are settled in the other. I slit the fragile string and end it all. I am Atropos,
more skeletal and grim than my sisters appear. I oft stand shoulder to shoulder with the Furies, watching a soul they've punished finally give up. I am there to cut their lives, and on battlefields I stalk with the carriers. I watch as they feast on the fallen dead once they've passed. Many may be disgusted with the violence, but all we do is to balance the world. Mortals turn to murder one another, and that is against our roles. We decree the lives of mortals, but to kill one another before their time is pure defiance of us, the universe and the laws that we divine uphold. And not every end is bad. I soothe the suffering, the sick and pained, and bring peaceful dream to the end of many mortal lives. I am a gentle hand that completes the story. For each life is unique, glorious, and of great worth. Even more so for its brevity. The fact that life, and the thread that is short or long, holds beauty in its limit. There is a journey, a beginning, a middle, and finally an end. But souls' journeys do not stop there, for they are carried by swift-footed Hermes to the lands of the dead. We Fates often choose to dwell in the underworld. For our mother, Nyx, dark night is there, and many of our siblings. Onward the souls go further into the underworld, and that is where our influence ends. And the rest are tales for another time.